Somewhere out there right now, there's a version of you watching this exact video, and another version of you skipping it, and another version doing something completely different. That's not science fiction. That might actually be real. Let's dive into the 10 most mind-bending parallel universe theories. Level 1, the infinite universe, Hubble volumes. Let's start with the simplest one, but don't let that fool you. It's still absolutely insane. Imagine space just never ends. It keeps going forever. No edges, no boundaries, just endless void stretching out in all directions until infinity itself gets tired. Most scientists believe this is actually what's true. Space is infinite. Here's where it gets creepy. If the universe is truly infinite, mathematicians have proven something extraordinary. The amount of matter and energy is finite. That means eventually the arrangements of atoms must repeat. Think about it like this. If you have an infinite number of cards, but only a limited number of ways to shuffle them, eventually you're going to get the same hand again, and again, and again. Which means somewhere out there, beyond what our telescopes can see, beyond the cosmic horizon, beyond everything we can reach, there's another version of you. Right now, in a place we can't access, another you is doing exactly what you're doing. Maybe they're watching this video. Maybe they're skipping this part because they think I'm full of nonsense. The statistics are so mind-boggling that there are probably infinite versions of you out there, living slightly different lives based on random variations in atomic structure. You're not special. You're just one of infinite copies.
Level 2, eternal inflation, bubble universes.
Now, here's what we know. The universe had a beginning. There was a Big Bang. Space expanded, it cooled down, it settled. But what if that's only what happened to our corner of reality?
Level 2 throws that assumption out the window.
It's called eternal inflation, and it's absolutely wild. Here's the concept. When the Big Bang happened, it didn't just happen once in one place. The inflationary process, this rapid expansion of space itself, never actually stopped everywhere. Sure, our patch of the universe cooled down, the inflation ended here, space stopped expanding at insane speeds, we got stars, planets, and us. But in other regions of space, inflation is still happening. Right now, at this very moment, countless other areas are expanding at impossible speeds, creating new universes entirely. We're not the only universe, we're just one bubble in an infinite cosmic foam, separated from the others by expanding space that's growing faster than light. And here's the kicker. Each bubble universe has potentially different physics, different fundamental forces, different constants. In some bubbles, maybe gravity works backwards. In others, maybe stars never form. In others, maybe life evolved billions of years before ours did. Think about it. While you're sitting here watching this video, countless new universes are being created right now, not metaphorically, physically. Somewhere in some unreachable corner of space, a new bubble universe just popped into existence with its own laws of physics, its own potential futures, its own possible civilizations. We can never reach them, but they're there, inflating, expanding, existing. Level 3, many worlds, quantum branching. Okay, get ready. This one is like the ultimate glitch in the universe. At the quantum level, the smallest scales of reality, things get weird, really weird. Particles don't have a definite state until you observe them. They exist in what's called a superposition, meaning they're kind of everywhere and nowhere at once, in all possible states simultaneously. But here's the thing, when you measure them, when you look, the wave function collapses. The particle picks a state. Reality snaps into focus. The many worlds interpretation asks a terrifying question. What if it doesn't collapse? What if both outcomes happen? Every single quantum event, and remember, quantum events are happening constantly at the foundation of reality, the universe doesn't pick one outcome, it splits. Both outcomes happen. The universe branches into two separate timelines. In one timeline, you see one result. In another timeline, a version of you sees the opposite result. You both exist. You both are real. You both think your timeline is the only one. Think about every choice you've ever made, every fork in the road, every decision. In the many worlds interpretation, you didn't pick one path while rejecting the other. You walked both. Every version of you that could possibly exist does exist, living out their own timeline.
Right now, there's a version of you who chose to watch this video. But there's also a version of you who didn't. A version who's doing something else instead. A version who became a doctor. A version who became a criminal. A version who became president. They're all real. They're all happening. All at the same time, simultaneously. The universe isn't a single branching tree. It's an infinitely expanding forest of timelines, with every possible outcome of every quantum event creating new branches forever.
Level 4, the mathematical universe. Here's a wild question. What if everything, and I mean everything, is made of math? The mathematical universe proposed by cosmologist Max Tegmark suggests something profound. Reality isn't made of particles or energy or strings vibrating in higher dimensions. Reality is made of math, literally. Physics equations aren't just descriptions of the universe, they are the universe. If a mathematical structure is internally consistent, if it doesn't contradict itself, if the equations work out, then that mathematical structure exists as a physical universe somewhere. Think about that for a second. Every possible math that works exists. Every consistent set of equations is real. In some parallel universe, there's a version of physics where the speed of light is different, another where gravity is stronger, another where time doesn't flow in one direction, but all directions at once. We don't experience those universes because we exist in this particular mathematical structure. Our brains evolved to process information according to these specific equations. We can only perceive realities that are built from the same fundamental math as ours, but they're out there. Every equation that could possibly work is working, somewhere, someone, creating universes with physics so alien we couldn't even imagine. The universe isn't weird despite being mathematical. The universe is mathematical, and that means it has to be all possible versions of weird.
Level 5, brain cosmology, higher dimensions.
Think about your perception right now. You experience 3 spatial dimensions: length, width, and height. That's it. That's your entire reality. But what if there are more dimensions hiding around us? Brain cosmology, short for membrane, suggests something mind-blowing. Our entire universe, all of it, is actually a 3-dimensional membrane floating in a higher dimensional space. We call that higher dimensional space the bulk. Imagine a sheet of paper floating in a room. The paper represents our universe. Everything we see, everything we experience, it's all on that paper. We can't perceive the room. We have no idea that up, down, left, right, forward, and backward exist off the page. From our perspective, we are all there is. But the room is real, and in that room there could be other sheets of paper, other membranes, other universes, just a fraction of a millimeter away from ours, existing in dimensions we cannot perceive. Here's the terrifying part. Gravity might be leaking between brains. Gravity could be the only force strong enough to bridge the gap between dimensions, which is why it's so incredibly weak compared to the other fundamental forces. All that missing gravitational force, it's flowing into other dimensions, to other universes. Those other universes could be right next to us, touching us, and we'd never know. There could be a thriving civilization on a brain just micromillimeters away from Earth, and we couldn't interact with them. We couldn't see them. We couldn't feel them. They'd be as invisible as the 4th spatial dimension is to us. We're not alone. We're just walled off, separated by the fabric of dimensions.
Level 6, cosmological natural selection, fecund universes. This theory is wild because it reimagines one of the most destructive forces in the universe as creative. Black holes are often thought of as endings. Matter falls in and it's gone forever, the ultimate destruction. But what if a black hole isn't an ending? What if it's a beginning? Cosmological natural selection is a theory proposed by physicist Lee Smolin, and it's as beautiful as it is unsettling. Here's the premise.
Every time a black hole forms in our universe, something extraordinary happens. On the other side of the event horizon, in a region of space-time that's completely disconnected from us, a new universe is born, a baby universe. The initial conditions of that new universe are slightly different from ours. Maybe gravity is a tiny bit stronger or weaker. Maybe fundamental particles have slightly different masses. Small variations created by quantum fluctuations during the black hole's formation. This means universes can reproduce. And if universes can reproduce, then universes can evolve. A universe that produces many black holes will spawn many offspring. It will spread. Its variations will inherit similar physics, so they too will create black holes and spawn their own offspring. A universe that produces few black holes will have few offspring. It will become rarer and rarer across the multiverse. Over eons, universes that are optimized to create black holes will dominate the multiverse. They'll be the most common. Their offspring will fill the void. And here's where it gets really weird. We live in a universe with an awful lot of black holes. We live in a universe optimized for creating black holes. According to this theory, that's not a coincidence. We exist because our universe was good at reproducing. Every single thing about our universe, the strength of gravity, the fusion rate of stars, the structure of matter, might be fine-tuned not for life, but for black hole production. We're just an accidental byproduct of a cosmic selection process.
Level 7. The cyclic multiverse. The Big Bounce. What if the universe doesn't have a beginning and an end? What if it's a loop? The cyclic multiverse, also called the Big Bounce model, says something radical. The Big Bang wasn't the start, it was a bounce. Think of it like this. A ball is thrown downward. It falls, it hits the ground, it bounces back up. That's one cycle. In the cyclic multiverse, that's what happened to reality itself. The universe expanded after the Big Bang, sure, but it won't expand forever. Eventually, gravity will win. Space will stop expanding. It will contract. Galaxies will fall together. Stars will collide. Matter will compress into a singularity so dense and hot that it makes the Big Bang look cold. That's the Big Crunch. But the crunch isn't an ending. It's the moment right before the next Big Bang. The universe bounces. Space starts expanding again. A new universe is born. And this has happened infinite times in the past, and it will happen infinite times in the future. We are not living in the universe. We're living in one iteration of a never-ending cycle. There was a Big Bang before this one. There will be a Big Bang after. The universe is eternal, not because it's infinitely old, but because it's infinitely recycled. Every universe in this cycle has the same fundamental physics, the same laws of nature, the same constants, but the details might vary. The exact arrangement of matter and energy as one universe bounces into the next could be different. Think about the sheer scope. Infinite universes, each lasting trillions of years, each cycling into the next forever and ever and ever. We're just one beat in an infinite cosmic heartbeat. Level 8, the holographic multiverse. What if everything you see right now, this screen, your hands, your body, is actually a projection? The holographic principle is one of the strangest ideas in modern physics. It comes from studying black holes and their properties. A black hole's information storage capacity is determined not by its volume, but by its surface area. That seems backwards, right? A bigger black hole should store more information than a smaller one, but according to thermodynamics, it's the surface area of the event horizon that matters. This led physicists to propose something radical. What if our entire three-dimensional universe is actually just information encoded on a two-dimensional surface? Imagine the surface of a sphere surrounding the entire universe, the cosmic edge. Every particle, every force, every event in our 3D universe is actually just data written on that 2D surface. Everything we experience, our entire reality, is a holographic projection of that information.
Change the data on the edge, and you change the entire universe. Different information on that surface means a completely different parallel reality. This suggests that parallel universes might not be separate places floating in space. They might be alternate projections of different datasets on the same cosmic surface. We live in the hologram we perceive, but shift the information slightly and you'd get another hologram, another universe, another version of reality. The real thing, the thing that actually exists, might just be information on the edge of space. Everything else is a shadow, a projection, a copy.
Level 9 and 10, Quantum Darwinism and CPT-SYMMETRIC Universe. We're in the home stretch, so let's cover the last two quickly because they're about to blow your mind in different ways. First, Quantum Darwinism. Here's a question. Why can't we detect all these parallel realities? Quantum Darwinism suggests that parallel realities exist all around us, but we only perceive the fittest ones, the ones that interact with the environment in ways that create a consistent, stable experience. Other versions of reality are like static on a radio, noise that we've filtered out. We're locked into this specific consensus reality because it's the one that survived in the quantum environment. The other possibilities are still there, but they're invisible, discarded, unobserved. And finally, the CPT-SYMMETRIC universe, also called the mirror universe theory. At the Big Bang, something extraordinary might have happened. Two universes might have been created at the exact same moment, ours and its perfect mirror. In our universe, matter exists, time flows forward, entropy increases, particles have certain properties. But in the mirror universe, matter is antimatter, time flows backward, entropy decreases. Every particle is the inverse of its counterpart in our universe. They're perfect mirrors of each other, separated at the moment of creation. Two universes expanding away from the Big Bang singularity in opposite temporal directions, creating the ultimate cosmic balance. When we observe our universe's past, we might be looking at the mirror universe's future. When we look to our future, we might be looking at the mirror universe's past. It's the ultimate cosmic symmetry, perfect duality. Two universes forever divided by the Big Bang, forever mirror images of each other. So, there you have it. 10 ways that reality might be far more expansive, more bizarre, and more fundamentally strange than we ever imagined. Infinite copies of you, bubble universes spawning at the edge of expansion, timelines splitting at every quantum moment, mathematical structures existing as physical realities, other universes floating just millimeters away in higher dimensions, black holes birthing baby universes, infinite cycles of big bangs and big crunches, holographic projections, silent parallel universes we can't detect, mirror universes made of antimatter and backward time. The truth is, the universe is under no obligation to make sense to us. It doesn't care if we understand it. It doesn't care if our brains are even capable of grasping what it really is. The universe is going to be strange, whether we like it or not. If you made it this far into the multiverse with me, I'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe. It helps get these videos out to more people who want to explore the weird edges of reality. And if you have theories of your own, if you think one of these multiverse theories is more likely than the others, or if you've got a completely different idea, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next universe.